Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and what I got for you today is a review of the new Bayangtoys X21. Now, you look at the X21 and you'll say, why, that looks like an X16, Bayangtoys X16, and indeed it does, except it's in matte black. But this has some features that the X16 does not have. Most importantly, it comes with an FPV camera, a digital FPV camera. You'll look at this and you'll say, well, it's a Wi-Fi FPV camera. Yeah, it is. But it is very high resolution Wi-Fi FPV, and I'll go over that here shortly. Additionally, this has two more features that the X16 does not have, in that it can do follow me and circle me. Now, this does not have a GPS built into it, the controller, to do follow me. The way it does it, and I'm pretty sure this is the way, I can't guarantee for sure, but I think it's using a GPS from your phone to determine where you are so it can follow you and circle you. So we'll try that out here shortly, those two features, and see how well it performs. Let's go over the quadcopter. Again, it is basically an X16 in jet black. Comes with a 11.1 volt 3S 200 milliampere hour battery that you slide in the back like so, with banana plugs. Additionally, you know, it has GPS built into it. You know, I don't think this is the GPS antenna, although it says it is, but we'll take it up and see how it performs. But the big thing about it is, again, is this camera system, and this camera, as I mentioned, is an FPV transmission camera, HD capability recording. It records 1080p video directly to a microSD card slot in the side of the camera right here. Now, this camera is controlled via your phone. Okay, your phone turns on the recording that goes to that SD card slot and turns off that recording. It also records to your phone directly too, but the video that you'll get recorded to your phone will be via Wi-Fi, so expect some choppiness in that video. This is a very wide-angled lens on this 1080p camera. It shows the side of these particular landing gear here because of the wide-angled lens, but it is a very good lens. It is a good-looking camera. You know, the image quality that I saw from it was relatively very good. So, what else do we got on this? And of course, we have this on-off switch on here that you're going to have to remember to turn on. If you plug in your battery and hear a beep, 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 that means that you haven't turned on your on-off switch on this little quadcopter, or this big quadcopter to be exact. Let's go over the controller. It's similar to the Bayangtoys X16 controller, except it's in jet black. This is your rates button here. Long press on this will do a landing. We'll land the quadcopter. Again, I mentioned it has follow me, which you activate by pressing this button here, and circle me, which you activate by pressing this button here. And you can go from GPS to altitude hold mode by pressing this button here. You want to be in GPS mode mostly, I'm assuming, folks. And it does have headless mode, which you activate by pressing this button here. And if you are in GPS mode, and make sure that you are, you look on your little LCD screen to make sure you're in GPS mode, pressing this button will do a return to home. And one other thing you need to know about is you need to calibrate your compass. You should calibrate your compass before every flight. You do that by pulling this stick down and moving this stick up, and then you do 3 horizontal turns of the quadcopter, 3 nose over turns of the quadcopter, and 3 nose down turns of the quadcopter, and I'll demonstrate that here shortly. So let's go for a flight of this thing and see how it performs. Hope you enjoy this flight. Okay, first thing we need to do is turn on the quadcopter, since this is a Bayangtoys quadcopter, instead of the transmitter first. And we'll do that by plugging in the battery. And hear that beeping? Like I mentioned, that means our on-off switch is off. Okay, we're going to put it down and turn it on. And turning on the transmitter. Now, this should automatically bind it, and it is bound to the transmitter. And like I said, remember, we need to do a compass calibration first. So we're going to put it in. Now look at the blinking green lights. Watch how they turn to rapid blinking when I move this stick down and this stick up to the upper right corner. Okay, now we are in compass calibration mode. Remember, I said 3 turns this way. 1, 2, 3, And 3 nose over turns. 1, 2, 3, and 3 nose down turns. And we're going to wait until the light turns solid green. Once the light, there we go. We got compass calibration. We're done. Once we get the light turning solid green, it is calibrated. So we should be good to go. Next thing we're going to do is turn on our GPS, or not GPS, our phone, our smartphone here. Hold on, folks, let me get that started. Okay, this is WD Pilot. This is the app that goes with this particular quadcopter. We'll hit play, and if you notice, we have very high resolution image on this particular app. We're going to hit record video to the card, and press it. Okay, the video recording has started, and double check that that number is scrolling. And now we're going to do the automatic takeoff, or actually we're going to do takeoff by pulling the sticks down and out. I forgot to mention that. To start the motors, you pull the sticks down and out. And to do a takeoff, you just lift up on the stick. And I should have verified first that we had 10 satellites and we are in GPS mode. You ought to do that before taking off. Okay, so we are good to go. Looking at this video image on my screen here, it is pretty darn good, pretty darn sharp. Let's look at the stability of the quadcopter. It goes up and down a bit because I got a wind blowing, and this uses barometer input for its altitude hold. So as that wind goes, ebbs and increases, you know, it's causing pressure drops for the barometer inside. So it'll go up and down a bit, so keep that in mind. So we'll go up a little bit higher. The reason being, I don't want to hit any bushes. And we will go out. Pushing forward. And I'm looking on my screen, and I want to see how far I can go. Now, I forgot to mention, there is telemetry here. It shows you where our height is 4 meters and our distance is 12 meters. And I want to go out and see how far we can go before we lose reception on my FPV. Keeping in mind this is Wi-Fi FPV that we're receiving here. Going up higher. Still got very good Wi-Fi reception. Another thing I forgot to mention. This is very important, folks. This uses 5G Wi-Fi. That's 802.11 AC Wi-Fi. Damn, I still got good reception. Let me stop it there. How far are we at? 114 meters with 802.11 AC Wi-Fi. Not everybody has that. It's doing a return to home right now. I think it went out of range of my transmitter. It's coming back. I did not hit the return to home button. Huh, that's interesting. It's doing an automatic return to home. And why is it doing that? Our voltage on the quadcopter is 7.3 volts. That's why. No, it's 11.8 volts. 11.8 volts. I think we went out of range on this transmitter temporarily there. Let's try that again. We're going to do another takeoff. Interesting, it did a return to home. Let me hit stop on the recording and start on the recording again. We'll start it again. And we'll start the motors one more time. Take into the air again. I got 7.3 voltage on this and 11.9 volts on the quadcopter, which should be good. Let's go out this way this time. See how far we go out before it does that again. But yeah, the Wi-Fi reception, FPV reception on this is spectacular. Very good. I'm amazed. But again, like I said, you know, this is for newer phones, folks. Older phones will not work with this thing. You know, your old 2.4 gigahertz FPV, that's not going to cut it with this particular quadcopter. Okay, how far are we at now? 161 meters. I will plop it there, and I'm going to rotate around. Rotate around. And yeah, there we go. I got some reception there. And pushing forward. And I'm going to bring it back now. We're going to try out those other features of this. We had an automatic return to home already. I don't know why I did that. It probably, like I said, lost reception of the transmitter here. My voltage is 11.5 volts. Let's see, 3.5 times 3 is 9, 10, 11.5. It's actually getting into that range where I want to keep it close. Bringing it down. And we're going to try follow me. Bringing it back toward me. Interesting quadcopter. Okay, let's try that follow me feature. We're going to plop it right there. Set it up a little bit high because I don't know what it's going to do with follow me. And hitting follow. Does it follow me? Is the question. Well, yeah, it does. Again, this does not have an onboard GPS. Oh, look at it jiggle with it. Okay, how about if I move forward? Will it move away from me? Yeah, it does. It's using the GPS off this phone. I'm almost certain about that, folks. Let's bring it down a little bit lower. I'm almost certain it's using the GPS from the phone to tell it where I am. And that's a bad spot for it to be because of the sun. Let's move it forward. Turning off follow me. And moving forward. Okay, let's move it over here. Put the sun behind me. Turning the quadcopter toward me again. And hitting follow again. So follow me is on again. And is it still recording? So it's moving with me. But it does jiggle around a bit as it's doing that. How about if I go over here? Will it follow me? Yeah, it does. Okay. Let's try that circle me. Let's bring this in a bit. Let's turn off follow me. And bringing it in closer. Right about there. Not too close. Hitting circle. And will it circle me? Yes, it does. After a few seconds, there it goes. Circling me. Make sure it's above all the bushes around here. It's doing a good job of circling me. Smooth on that. Will it follow me while it circles me? Like, no, it remembers the position of the phone when you hit that button. And just keeps circling that initial position. So that's the circle me. How much voltage? I got 11.1 volts. And hitting stop. I can go down to 10.5 volts. And that's when we're going to return. I'm sorry, folks. I mentioned 11.5. That's wrong. We still got a lot of voltage. Let's go out again. Hitting video stop again. And I want to start it one more time. I want to make sure I get these videos. Make sure it's recording. Numbers are increasing. And let's go out. And go up higher this time. And I'm going to see how far we can go out and still maintain video reception. And then we'll do an automatic return to home from there. Once we lose reception. This is amazing. This Wi-Fi can go that far. Again, that's one of the advantages of the new, the newer 5G Wi-Fi. You got much greater range apparently. Okay, we lost it right there. How far are we? Let's see. 208 meters. What if I go up higher? I'm going to send it up higher. Increasing altitude. Will that improve the Wi-Fi? Going up to about, what's my height? 24 meters. Let's take it up to higher than that. Oh, it's doing a return to home again. So that's about the range of this transmitter here. Particularly with the phone attached. There is a wire that protrudes off the top of this thing. Where's it landing? It's landing on top of me. So it's using me as the return to home position. Get out of the way. There it comes down. Where I was standing was the return to home position. Well, I don't want it to land particularly. That's not a good spot. That was not a good spot for it to land. But keep in mind, if it doesn't return to home, it's going to return to home where you are at. Okay, we'll set this as the new position for takeoff. I stopped that video again, and we still got 11.1 volts. We got a lot of voltage before we hit, for 3S, 10.5 volts would be your return to home voltage, so we still got a lot of voltage left. So going back into the air. Let me stop that again. I want to make sure my propellers are good after that impacting the ground. And they all seem to be fine. So starting again. And wait, stopping the video recording, starting the video recording. Recording. Going into the air. Okay, what haven't we done? Headless mode. Pressing headless mode. Pushing forward. That's not headless mode. That is not headless mode. So headless mode doesn't seem to work, particularly when you're, maybe if you're in GPS mode, that doesn't work. Let's go into altitude hold mode. Pressing GPS button. There's the wind blowing it. How about headless mode this time? Nope. So headless mode does not seem to work. Pressing GPS mode back again. Okay. It's doing another return to home. Or is it? No. Okay. Let's... That was wonky. It's doing wonky things. It's doing another return to home. I think it's doing a return to home. Let's see if it comes down. Its lights are flashing. But we're at 10.9 volts. We should be good. I'm not sure why it's doing that, folks. Let's go back over to the landing pad where it was. And there it goes again. Doing a return to home. Why is it doing that? We got 10.8 volts. We should be good. Not sure why that's doing that, folks, but let's bring it down. Okay, maybe they got it set that it doesn't, it won't let you go very far on 10.8 volts. So we're going to call it quits here for the flight. Apparently it doesn't like that. Doesn't like to go far when it's in lower voltage, like 10.8 volts. It keeps executing a return to home. And it thinks I was over there. Maybe I'll turn return to home on. Actually, I hit return to home and hitting it again to turn it off. It's automatically doing these return to homes. So we're going to land it just about anywhere. Its lights are blinking. Notice that, folks. Its lights are blinking, so it's in LVC right now. That's why it's doing that. I want it to land. Keeps thinking that's the landing position. Let's hit land. Hitting that land button. Yeah, its lights are blinking. It's in LVC. But the LVC comes on, that's the automatic landing. Let's see how well it does. The LVC comes on at about 10.8 volts. Instead, 10.5 volts would have been more appropriate. That's why it keeps doing that. When it does these automatic return to homes that you did not command, keep in mind it has a low battery warning that it will return to home when it reaches 10.8 volts. That's apparently what it's set for LVC for this. 3.5 volts per cell at 10.5 would have been more appropriate in my opinion, but they have it set for 10.8. So that's the review of this thing. Let's turn off the video recording we got. All in all, very interesting quadcopter it's got here. With follow me, circle me, both of those work. Return to home, GPS mode, and also return to home, both on loss of signal from the transmitter. That happened. We've sent it out to about 200 meters and couldn't pick up this transmitter anymore. I think that's because I have the antenna pushed. You have to push the antenna in when you attach this phone to it. The antenna normally sticks out a lot longer. And also return to home on low battery, which it performed very well also when it reached 10.8 volts. It uses 10.8 volts because I guess it figures a lot of people are going to be sending this out far, and they want it to have enough power to return to home. So that's the Bayangtoys X21. Interesting quadcopter. Hope you enjoyed this flight. Quadcopter 101, signing out.